Thank you very much. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked it up. We've got to this stage. It is time for the grand finals. Whoever wins this will be going to Berlin. It's a big old prize, along with the money they're going to pick up. Of course, that trip to Berlin to win megabucks.
Yeah, it's the first big hurdle, but once you get through this one, it gets even bigger, the prizes get bigger, the opponents get bigger, everything gets bigger. But this is still pretty big. Yeah. And like I said, you have to win this game to get that spot to Berlin. So it's brutal, and if you get this far and you lose this one, you're going to be gutted.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to be kicking yourself.
You've got to make sure you leave it all on the pitch.
So who do we think is going to take this one? I mean, obviously, Abdulaziz, Mr. Don, is coming in with an advantage here because he comes through that upper bracket, means he only has to win one game. Yeah. Whereas on the other side, you have Sony coming through, who has to win 2 games in a row to take his final.
I mean, you look at Abdulaziz. We've obviously been talking up the fact that he is the 2015 world champion at the FIFA Interactive World Cup. We haven't mentioned the fact that he was there in 2012, there in 2013. He reached the semi-finals in 2013. This guy has got so much more experience than anybody else attending this event. He knows exactly where it's been. He's had a break. He's been able to take himself to sit quietly. You look around the arena, he hasn't been here. He's just been sat in a nice, quiet area, getting himself psyched up and ready. It was only 1-0 in that opening matchup. It was tight, and I think we're going to see just as close game here. And that was a bit of a breakaway goal as well early on.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if you just think about all the things we just said, because I think it is tight, and I think it is tighter than the Xbox side, which I think is slightly more clear-cut, but he beat him 1-0 already. The experience he's got in these tournaments, and then coupled with the fact that also he only has to win one of the games. So all those things together, for me, it's an Abdulaziz win, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Well, we can see everyone fired up for this one. The guys are in-game just making some of those initial changes, and then we're going to get this one underway. Abdulaziz is going to be sat there, cool, calm and collected, knowing that he's already won the one game, and he only needs one more here to pick up the title and book his place to Berlin.
Well, he's won the tactic of picking his own colours as well, because they've both been playing in yellow throughout this one. I think Abdulaziz is going to be the yellow kit this time around, so we'll keep our eye on that one as they get fired up. Of course, and you know, all tournament long we've been talking about your environment, so sitting, playing at home. This is very much a different environment. They've got the crowd around them, they've got the cameras on them. Everything builds into a very different situation. You guys sat at home thinking this is easy. Well, of course, you can all take part and try and be here when you get around to the next qualifiers. But as it is, things are underway.
What do we think about Abdulaziz's sitting technique there, sitting cross-legged on the chair? Not comfortable for me personally, but I'm not a very flexible person.
He's a bit smaller than we are, I don't know, size-wise. I certainly couldn't cross my legs
even
and
get
sit on
in that
chair.
position, never mind staying it.
I reckon the chair would just tip straight backwards on me, I don't know. But either way, 5 minutes in, it's already a lot of pressure building up here. Sony trying to get it clear. Suarez up to Messi now. Abdulaziz using Ronaldo. And that's something we should probably talk about for both of these teams. Nothing fancy. No little choices, single-handed picked out players. Everybody using very much the standard we've been seeing in FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point in the day now where these selections are quite important, because we've got the PlayStation side here, obviously no legends available, so they're only be able to go with players who are currently playing in real life. Whereas on the Xbox side, you can include legends! Oh, big chance. So when eventually we get to the cross-console final, those choices are going to be key, because the PlayStation guys are going to have the option to bring legends in, and the Xbox guys are going to have to work without the legends they've got used to playing with. So that's why that cross-console final for me is so interesting.
And don't forget, guys, this PlayStation 4 final here brought to you by Progressive.com. Big thanks for them for supporting us throughout this. We've seen some fantastic games today. And, well, this may just be the start if these finals really are what we're expecting. Abdulaziz here, almost losing possession. Did manage to gain it back with the last touch. Gonna have a pop with Pogba, and that goes over. But we've seen he's not scared of shooting from this distance.
No, I mean, Paul Pogba's got a fabulous long-range strike on him. It was always going to be a big ask to score from there in terms of percentages, but not a bad effort, to be fair. 0-0, why not?
Well, Messi's going to take himself a little too long on the ball there. No nonsense stuff. Modric to Messi. He's got nowhere to go, being closed down by 2 players. Tries to switch it away. You can see the prize, actually, that was gifted to Abdulaziz in 2016, unable to attend those finals, but it's a Coke Esports console controller that he's brought with him. Obviously, it was given out to all of the players, so using his prize in a tournament that he was unable to attend.
Yes, it's interesting that, because not only is it just a nice memento and a signal of the guy's experience, the sort of tournaments he's played in, but it's almost like a little reminder to his opponent, like, it's in my controller, mate. Do you know
you got one of these? No, you haven't.
Do you know who I am?
It's like the equivalent of the star on the football pitch.
The thing is, Spencer, we've all got one of those guitars.
No, we've actually got, which proves you don't have to be good to have one. They'll literally give them to anyone.
Nope. Shot from Modric there. It's actually falling kindly. Again, all bobble away, and that's going to be a corner here for Sony. Does he take it short, or does he go to the front post? He will go to the front post, but no, yeah, not going to be messed around there. Will come collect easy. And 26 minutes gone. It remains at 0-0. That's a big challenge onto Juan Fran.
I don't think it's a big surprise to anyone that it is still remaining 0-0. Very tight game between these two, as it was in the winner bracket finals. Finished just 1-0. 2 missed the done in that game. Had massive possession stats as well in that matchup. Well, I'll be interested to see whether he's had the same, because Sony certainly had a decent amount of the ball so far, from what I can tell. Vidal to Ronaldo now. Modric trying to slide the ball through. That's like a real big chance. I think may have just been offside. No, the De Gea came out. You know what? I actually think the player almost thought that was offside as well, because he just kind of stuttered with the ball, didn't shoot.
Speaking of De Gea, Sony was saying that was one of the reasons he felt that he didn't win the first game, was De Gea having such a good performance in goal. So we'll be looking out for that again. Can he repeat himself? He's obviously a great goalkeeper. Can always make the difference, you know, a strong performance in goal. A few saves where you might have seen some goals go in can make all the difference.
Nice direct passing moving forward there from Sony before he ended up losing it. Now Abdulaziz charging forward. Ronaldo looking for his next option, which will be Modric. There is Pogba into Vidal. It's setting Messi up. Left foot, it's in.
Big.
Slicing it across the front of goal. And Abdulaziz is going to take it. You see that for Sony, that means all the pressure now. Let's not forget that he has to win 2 games in a row, and that just got a lot harder for him.
Yeah, it was a nice finish there, past the goalkeeper. Abdulaziz is a very cool customer, even when he scores there. No celebrations from him. He's been here before, not this exact tournament, but in these sort of situations. He knows not to get carried away, and very almost emotionless in many ways, but I'm sure on the inside, he's absolutely loving it right now.
Yeah. Well, we certainly saw the emotion when he finally won out. A bit of a long ranger from Ronaldo there. Maybe we're going to start seeing that from Abdulaziz, you know. He's got himself that one important goal. Now he's obviously feeling a little more confident, can start unleashing the beast effectively in terms of Ronaldo from long-range shots, maybe a couple of Messi long ranges. And Sony knows he's up against it now. Possession dominated by Abdulaziz in game 1. He's got to do just as much as he can with it. Pogba to Messi, little 1-2 pass. Vidal not falling for it. And that's really been a big part of it. Talking about how strong they can be in possession. You can see the stats there once again. 62% for Abdulaziz. And, you know, it's the telling story, I think, for a lot of the players that we've seen reaching through to the finals. It has been very much possession-hungry players.
Yeah, and when you know, because everyone knows Abdulaziz is a great possession player, so when you know that's what you're up against, you have to be very, very quick in your attacks. You have to get the ball from the defence to attack real quick. No sort of, you know, dilly-dallying. Chance here, good tackle. And what happens is if you don't do that, not only are you going to lose, but in putting the pressure on yourself to play those quick passes, you inevitably make it harder for you to keep possession, because you're trying to go from one end to the other real quick. But you have to do it against them, because you can't expect to see them out in a possession battle. You're going to lose.
Well, Abdulaziz 45 minutes away in game from becoming the PlayStation champion and booking his place to Berlin. Will Sony be able to bring this one back? A few changes will be happening at halftime, I think, without a doubt in this one. And Sony, I mean, what do you do in this scenario? Do you keep playing your game? Do you keep playing your game at 1-0 down? Or do you change it up?
I mean, we saw right at the end of the half there, if he just had an extra touch on the ball, he might have been able to get a shot and a goal right before half-time. So he's got to believe in himself. Yeah, he's lost to Abdulaziz before. Maybe he feels a little bit like it's deja vu, but I don't think he's out the game. He's not going to have a lot of the ball, but he can still get some big chances.
Intense focus required for both these guys, of course. Got to get themselves in the game. Just 45 seconds. 45 minutes is all that remains for Abdulaziz.
And we are going to get back into things here. 48 minutes on the clock. Abdulaziz 1-0 up and is holding onto the ball, as has been a key part of his game. With Messi this time on the top side. And got a lot of space here as well. And we'll just keep passing this around. No rash moves. No risky plays. Alaba trying to be dancing around.
Pull two players to him. Sony's got to be careful he doesn't let a goal in early here. That would certainly put curtains to his chances. Ronaldo after Messi. Messi, oh, just trying to curl it into that corner. Almost identical to the first goal. Ronaldo retains possession, going straight back up on the wing.
I'm just watching Abdulaziz now, and I'm trying to work out what it is that allows him to dominate possession to such a high level. And a lot of the time it's his first touch or his second touch on the ball. So like just there, the way he rolled the ball back into his feet and just kept it away from the defender, away from the sort of space that they can operate in. So that's what it is. I'm hearing apparently that's his trademark, you know, it's what he's known for, is that first touch. It's very cool, it's very clever, it's very calculated, and it just means the ball is just too far away, essentially, from the opponent. By the time the opponent's moved in the direction they need to do to get the ball back, he's already passed it. Do you know what I mean? He's already moved it on to the next man. So there's a lot to learn from this guy. Guys watching at home that want to know how they can improve. Maybe they're struggling to see games out when they have a lead. A lot of that can be done with dominant possession, and a lot of that can be done by watching Abdulaziz, because he's really good at it.
Continues to keep a hold even off that free kick as well.
He's held this ball for at least 10 minutes, maybe the full portion of this half yet. We haven't really seen Sony touch it yet. This is just dominant performance in terms of possession. Finally, a breakaway chance here. Let's see what he can do with it. Ronaldo through to Messi. You said about he's going to have those quick attacks, but the problem is you make mistakes when you have those quick attacks. And immediately we see Abdulaziz Alshehri, a.k.a. Mr. Dunn, regain possession the second the ball reaches his own half.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of game where a second goal would probably kill it off. Just because Abdulaziz is so good in possession, he can just wind that clock down and be confident that Sony's not going to have the chances or the time on the ball he needs. So a second goal probably would be lights out. But equally, obviously, only one chance for Sony is all that he needs to get back in it. We're just not seeing him really with the ball in Abdulaziz's half.
So what do you change? What do you change right now? Because he can't get the ball. He's not been able to win it out. You can't really go attacking if you don't even have the ball.
I mean, as the clock winds down, the more chances got of going out. He can take risks. He can change his custom tactics. He can go more high pressure. You know, he can go more attacking. He can send his fullbacks up to join the attack. All these sort of things, they come with a huge risk against someone of Abdulaziz's caliber, but you have to do them eventually, or else it's the game just falls away from you. You've got to go for it. You've got to go out of a fight.
Let's see what he does now, though. Managed to get possession back, and just as swiftly as he gets it, it's gone again. Oh, bit of a mistake there. A little bit too much power.
Chance to get his guys upfield here. So he's going to get, finally can get his team up forward, away from his own half. They've been sitting camped in their own half for a while, which is why we're starting to see the changes come on through. Obviously, Abdulaziz on your screen there, very much focused. He is pretty much doesn't really need to change anything. Everything is working for him. He's got his brother behind him, so making sure everything works out. Got it solid and ready to go. Sony trying to make some adjustments. Trying to switch the possession stats. I'm trying to glimpse across and see what I can see in the little corner. You can see he's putting pressure moves and shifting his players to obviously go a little bit more attacking. I'm trying to get as glimpses as I can. They tend to do it so quick. Obviously, we can see it on our screen. You can see him just about doing it. Lots and lots of changes. You could just about catch the speed that he's doing on the screen there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep up, but a lot of these guys, you know, a lot of these guys create content as well. A lot of these guys have YouTube channels and stuff, and it's a really good way for up-and-coming players to learn from them, and they'll make videos where they go through specifically their custom tactics. you know, whatever. You touched on it there. That's Abdulaziz's brother there. He goes to all the events with him. And it's got to be helpful to have that support. You know, we talked about some of the guys earlier who had huge kind of entourages with them. And that's cool from a sort of friendship perspective. And it's nice to have that. Those guys have got your back. But having one person maybe that comes to all the events that knows you, knows your game style, knows the game, that's probably more valuable, I'd say. You know, a lot of these guys have coaches and things like that. I think the most valuable thing would be just having one guy in your corner who knows what you need to hear in any one given situation and can just say it. It doesn't have to be rocket science, what these guys are saying. Sometimes it's just sensible, you know, generic advice, but it helps to have it from a third party.
I certainly know from the FIFA Interactive World Cup perspective, a lot of people used to bring along their own practice partners as well. Sometimes often to the finals, and you know, set yourself up in the hotel room, get yourself a practice session going, and try and knock out the tactics and try and emulate your opponent you may be facing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you've got to look at any traditional sports. I mean, everyone else would do it. You have sparring partners in boxing for the exact same reason, and it's easy for people to look at it and say, oh, why do you need a practice partner for FIFA or whatever? You've got to look at the amount of money that's on the line, guys. This is becoming a big deal. You know, $30,000 today. This is just a regional final. This isn't the grand final yet. We've got big amounts of money being given away later on in this year. Okay, so anything you can do, anything you can create, any kind of environment, competitive-wise, you can recreate in your own setting. It's going to be huge for you. Massive chance! Oh! Big tackle.
Surely, oh, Pogba, it falls to Pogba. The big old chance there. 86 minutes already gone. Remember, he needs to get himself a win here, or it will be all over. And now you can see Abdulaziz, he's back in possession. All chance there. It was Alexis Sanchez he was using to get it down there. Corner, no. Goal kick, unfortunately. And that surely is the chance goes begging for Sony.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him because he's only had a couple of chances all game. That was probably the best one of the lot. And it was a massive interception from the defender, which probably has seen it through for Abdulaziz. He's gone ultra-attacking old Sony, and fair play to him. What is that goal kick he's doing there? I mean, that is...
Possession.
He backed himself then. It's worked. I mean, yeah, he saw the defender wasn't marked. A little bit of a time clock winder downer, but...
That's how cutthroat this is, right? I mean, you get that one chance. That's literally that one good chance here. And that's probably going to be it because he's kept possession so incredibly well. The controlling of the game that we know so well from Abdulaziz once again showing through, and that is going to be
a free kick. He's won a free kick. It's all over. Abdulaziz, free kick just going to go through. Not a great deal, anything coming off this one. Maybe even just a chance to know. Cheeky 30-yarder maybe on the edge of the box. Anything. Messi into Ronaldo. Can't quite pass it through. Final whistle will go. And Abdulaziz Alshehri, a.k.a. Mr. Dunn, is the PlayStation 4 champion. He will go through to the grand finals, picked himself up $20,000, and more importantly, the place in the grand finals in Berlin on the 20th of May. Fantastic performance from him, dominant possession stats as well.
Yeah, and you've got to feel for Sony getting so close in such a big tournament and just missing out on that spot for Berlin. But of course, there's a season 2.
He's absolutely one to watch when we get to Singapore, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. And I think fair play to Abdulaziz as well. We called him out at the start of the show as a potential favourite. He's done a lot of things in this in this situation before in big tournaments. So he's justified his label as a favourite. I really think the game, if it does end up between him and the Royal, is going to be a very interesting one. But that job is still to be done, but ultimately he's got himself $20,000, which is no small change. Well done for that. And he's got himself a spot in Berlin when there's even more money up for grabs.
It's very hard to carry the favourite label and come out on top, isn't it? There's a lot of pressure on that. And he tried to talk it down as much as he can, but he knew he was the favourite coming into this one and had a very testy first game.
Yeah, and I don't think many people like to carry the favourite label, but one man that I know that does is Chu. He is my favourite, and he's down there to talk to Alshehri.
Well, very kind words there, but I'm here with the winner, Abdulaziz. Very dominant performance. I noticed that you had so much possession. What kind of tactics do you usually use to gain so much possession?
First of all, thank you, and alhamdulillah. The kind of tactic that I try to use is try not to give my opponent the ball, because once he doesn't or he won't get the ball, he will never make any dangers to my goal. So this is the plan. And yeah, it worked well so far.
So I noticed that your brother is always right by your side whenever you play. Can you tell us about the kind of confidence he gives you, the kind of advice he gives you?
Oh yes, he has been with me for 7 hours now. We traveled the whole world together. I tried always to stay focused by his words. And yeah, he's my key actually to win.
And also, I've noticed, I've been watching the stream on in Twitch. On the Twitch chat, lots of fans from the Middle East cheering you on. They're taking over the chat. You should see it. Is there anything you have to say to, any young Middle Eastern players that are watching you right now?
Yeah, of course. I would like just to say hi to them, to all of them, and I'm really happy for their support. And yeah, just don't give up and try. If you love this game, just come here, compete, and shine like a star.
So some great words from Mr. Dunn. As I've said, Mr. Dunn getting it done. Let's send it back to the desk.